Hello? Can you hear me well? Okay, good. That's the important thing. From Java bytecode to instant class diagrams with Class Visualizer. My name is Jonathan Kazmierczak. I'm working for Trivadis as senior consultant in Switzerland with nice views, which we can see here and also here. I am creator of the tool, which will be the main topic of this presentation, working with Java for over 20 years, plus a few other things. Actually, maybe this is a nice point also, that I'm participating in various contests in programming and data science with very good results. And I remember yesterday on the evening event or party, there was some competition. I would say those three mentioned here, they really help if next year you want to be first, except the colleague who won. It's really good to practice in those things. I just would like to also show a few of my achievements, which I gathered during that. And now I forgot, or I realized that I didn't plug my laptop, and hearing the sound from the laptop reminds me that is not a good idea. So the cable must be here. Okay, the battery is also not bad, so the laptop will survive. Our agenda, what are we going to talk about? First of all, demo, what is Class Visualizer? By the way, who knows what is Class Visualizer? Maybe somebody knows. Please raise your hand. Nobody? Okay. So, yes, that's a good presentation. And so obviously nobody used it as well, but no problem, we'll see it. Realities and wishes is also something what we will learn, plus history and demos, visualization of sample Spring project and visualization of Java standard library. That will be also interesting. So what is Class Visualizer? Here is the screenshot, but we don't want to work with screenshots. We want to work with live products. And now, okay, I see that it's not very sharp, the view. Let's start to make zoom, and the question is, can we see it better? Okay, let's do a test. Question to the colleagues in the back of the room. Is anybody who doesn't see well those writings? Please raise your hand. Somebody doesn't see well? Okay, everybody sees. Great, great. So that's the tool for visualization of the classes, as the name suggests. We can always see the class here on the class diagram, plus the content of the class, all the members. They are divided into 5 categories: constants, fields, properties, constructors, and methods. This is, I would say, obvious logical division of the members, but most of the tools, they don't give us this feature, unfortunately. Plus, we see a lot of elements here with different colors. What does it all mean? We will learn in the moment. So that's to answer the question, what is Class Visualizer? Let's talk for a moment about realities of existing Java code bases. Size, thousands, tens of thousands of classes. Documentation doesn't exist, insufficient, outdated. Good. As a result, very difficult to understand the code base without proper visualization, which mainly means class diagrams. Actually, when I was looking for some tool which would do it for me several years ago, I had some wishes about class visualizations, about class diagrams. And I wrote them down here. Yes, the visualization should be automatically generated from the code base. Should be correct, accurate, complete, and readable and understandable. Now the question is, are those wishes reasonable? What do you think? Who thinks that those wishes are reasonable? Okay, majority of colleagues thinks that they are reasonable. I see that few few colleagues still have some doubts. But yes, for me, just those four requirements, yeah, it's not much. But still, could you believe that those four simple requirements were still not fulfilled in year 2011? Now it's hard to believe, right? But that was the situation. So what I did with this obvious luck, I grew up in the times of 8-bit computers like Atari, XL, XE. And at that time, if there was a luck, no software, what we did? We did it. We created the missing software. That's exactly what I did. I said, okay, that's the time to fulfill the wishes, to fill the gap. And I started to work. That's the scanned original design, which I did in 2011. Actually, I was doing it during my trip. I was drawing how I would like to see the visualizations of the classes which I will load. Yeah, I showed also how everything should be structurized on the screen. Good. That was just some vision. But of course, vision was not enough. I needed to answer or take some architectural decisions, and my focus when I was creating or thinking about the product was on reliability, on maintainability, and also on future-proof solution. I didn't want my product to disappear from the market after a few years because there are no dependencies, some libraries, something is not working. I didn't like that. Okay, so I needed to decide which platforms I'm targeting. I said, okay, as many as possible. Let's be cross-platform. So that's also answers for the second questions. Yes, distributions, platform-dependent or cross-platform. Of course, cross-platform is easier for me. I do it once. Everybody can start it. What technologies and frameworks to use? That was already more challenging question. Plenty of frameworks, many choices, but the fact that I wanted to be cross-platform a little limited my possibilities. I said, okay, I want to stay in Java, generally Java without platform-specific extensions. I was thinking about also the UI framework which I would use, and SWT was one of the options at that time, but because of platform dependency, platform-dependent libraries, I said, no, it's better not to go that way. Then I had two other possibilities now from the Java side, which was relying only on Java, was JavaFX2 new and Swing, already quite old and established. JavaFX2, year 2011, relatively new product, didn't exist in Java distribution at that time, so difficult to predict the future, right? Big failure of JavaFX1. Do I want to go in JavaFX2? I looked into some documentation. I didn't find any. Examples, very few and really not impressive. On the other hand, Swing, very well documented, very good examples showing everything what I really needed. Said, okay, then at that time, year 2011, let's go for Swing. Only one dependency, Java Virtual Machine or Java Standard Library itself, which means I said, okay, Oracle, at that time was already Oracle, yes, always is maintaining backward compatibility, then I will survive, or the product will survive. Great. Unfortunately, I underestimated the power of the force. I didn't predict that it may come something like Project Jigsaw. And yes, nowadays it's not exactly as I thought it will be. But until Java 8, all my predictions were correct. Good. After that, there was one more question, which was quite not so obvious at first glance how to answer it. What will be the input format for the tool? Source code or bytecode or maybe both? And now I would like to ask you a question in case you are in the situation. which option you would choose? Who would choose a source code as the input of the tool? Who would choose that? Okay, we have few hands. Good. And now who would choose bytecode? Okay, I see far more hands up. And yes, I was thinking there are two options. If I would ask you at that time in 2011, then there would be no problem. You would help me to immediately choose the right thing. But I was thinking about source code. Good. Source code is nice, but first, how do I know that it's correct? It may be incorrect source code. I have to make sure that it's correct. Then the future extensions of Java, that was Java 7, but Java 8, new constructs. Okay, I need to rely on some third-party library. Will the library be updated quickly enough? Too many uncertainties and dependencies. I said, okay, let's see, bytecode. Okay, bytecode, quite good, easy to deal with. It's always proved by compiler that the code was correct. JVM knows how to load it. So that's exactly what I need. And with help of very useful API, which is Java Reflection API, which I like very much, everything was in place. Okay, so just Java standard library was fully enough to load the bytecode. So now there is time for demos. I have a picture from my traveling. That was in Ghana. And if you see slides, then you may see often such vision of realities, right? Everything beautiful, colorful. But if you see the product really in action, then you may see totally different realities, the full picture. I want to show you the true realities. So we can move now to the tool. I have to make it big enough. Once again, to make sure, is there anybody who doesn't see the writings? Please raise your hand. We have a few more people now in the room, but everybody can see. That's great. We will try to load something. Okay, it will be a Spring demo application, Spring Pet Clinic. It has a dependency on Spring plus maybe a few other libraries. So before I will load the project itself, I have to add to class path the dependencies. Which dependencies I may need? I have no idea. But I'm sure if I will load Maven repository, then I will have everything in place. But how do I know that I need a Maven repository? Actually, that may be a question. Because I took a look into the project, and I would like to show it as well. Let's make it bigger. By the way, this tool maybe reminds some of you old good times of Norton Commander, MS-DOS. Who was using Norton Commander? Please. Wow, I'm very much impressed. We have a great audience of IT dinosaurs. I am also one of them. That's great. Yes, it's a very nice tool. This is Midnight Commander, but anyway, it's clone of Norton Commander. Here we can see what sort of project is that. We have POM.XML, that means it's Maven project. We have the sources. Here is the target. The outcome is Web Archive, and I can see also that all my classes are compiled here to the classes directory. So with this discovery, I know already what I can I expect from the tool itself. So knowing this particular dependency on Maven, I know that if I load full Maven repository, then I'm absolutely safe. I must have everything in place. And that's true. 1053 libraries were loaded from Maven repository. I have even more than I need. Then now it's time to load the project itself. We will load the project from directory which contains classes. I see that it's somewhere here, the project. I'm going to the target classes, and now I can start to load it. The loading took place. 67 top-level classes size of the project, 229 classes, everything all together with dependencies, libraries, and so on. Time of loading, 1 second. Is it not too fast? What do you think? It's fast, right? Yeah, just 1 second. Everything is in place. Now we can maybe take a look. What do we see here? We see a lot of elements on the list. We see that they have different colors. Some of them, like this one, is a class, interface, annotation. This one, I don't see well which one is that. But we have, in addition, some exceptions in other color, or there is one additional category like enum. So we have 5 categories of class elements, and all of them we can easily distinguish by color. Just a question. Okay, the colors are quite well reflected here. That's good. In addition, we see a few other things, and now we will start to look closer into our project. It's a sample, so I will filter the classes. I will also sort them. Let's shift this thing. Okay, what do we see here? What do we have in our project? We have some model, we have repository, some REST, service, util. Okay, that's the content of the project. Okay, that's a good starting point. There is some model. Okay, I think the interesting one could be pet. Let's see what information we can find about the pet. Pet is a subclass of named entity. It's using several types here. Some of them, like owner or pet type, are coming from the same project. Here are the associations, and we see that because of the color is black. But in case, for example, of list, date, or set, we see that they are in gray color, means they are coming from outside of our project. That's already a good thing. We can easily distinguish elements from the project and from outside. Here is our pet. We can now take a look into the content. We see annotations. Okay, this is entity, table. There is a field with one-to-many annotation. We can see also we have several properties. We can also see that here is visits. Okay, this is a property, field visit, or visits. Okay, what is the difference? This one is set of visits. This one is list of visits, which already gives me, or I have a question about that. Is it a really good idea to repackage everything from set to list and from list to set? I don't know, but it seems that the person who did it likes to make things a little bit overcomplicated. And then we see also several methods. Okay, we can see what is this pet. We can see all the elements, concise properties, for example, and all the annotations. But I would like to learn a little bit more about the birth date. I'm curious, what are those annotations? What will be the date time format, for example? Okay, this we can find here in a browser. We can see all the same elements, including properties. Here we can see full type names. And among others, we have birth date. We can expand it fully. And here is date time format. Okay, we can see what parameters are passed. Okay, here is, for example, pattern. Year, month, day. Okay, so we can look into every detail of loaded class, the class which is in our focus, like pet in this moment. We can look into exactly every detail of this class. Maybe we'll find something interesting here, annotations. Okay, here nothing unusual. In addition to that, we have also relations, the same which which we see here on the diagram, we may also find them here, and it can be useful. Soon, on other example, we'll see the usefulness of that one. Maybe we'll take it a little bit small now to see the whole diagram, at least on the one screen. Oh, we also see that there is some JDBC pet. That's interesting. Interesting pet, right? JDBC pet. Okay. And we can easily look into the relations. Owner, for example. Okay, what is owner? I can double click. Here we can see the content of the owner, and I can easily come back to the pet. Yes, and I can navigate forward, backward. Good. I also have a hierarchy here where I can find my pet by clicking with the right mouse button, and here is the pet. Okay, I can see the full hierarchy. I can also expand all the children of base entity, and I see all the entities. If, for example, now I would be interested, but how many entities do I have in the system? What can I do? I can even move my mouse here, and I see already the number of coming relations, but if I double click, then I see them all. Okay, I can easily identify all my entities in the system. So we took a look into the pet. That's fine, but this is not really a big project. Yes, 229 classes all in total. What is that? It's small. No, it's too small. We don't work with such projects. Maybe some proof of concept. Let's take something better. What I did, I choose new project. Everything is clean now. We will find something better. I think that we can find some better project, which would be Java Standard Library. That one should be big enough to see some more data. Then load classes from jar files. Here I copy the path. Then here we are JRE, leap, and somewhere here we should be able to find RTJAR. Yes, that's my favorite part of Java distribution. 12,860 top-level classes. And what is the result? Just 7.666 seconds. And how many? 7,500 of classes. Wow. Is it not too fast? I can say that I never saw before any tool dealing with such number of classes and loading them in any reasonable time. Also, I tried few. What class we may want to take a look into? There is one famous class, actually. There was quite few or quite some discussions about that famous class called, what? Unsafe. But maybe you can take a look into the also the performance of the list, right? We have 17,500 of classes, and I'm typing unsafe, and that's it. That's our unsafe. Okay. What is inside? Here we can see that there are quite many things. I see here that it has 136 members. Okay, it's quite big class. It's not a small one. It uses few things. Few of them are deprecated. Good. Not a surprise. But it's used in 181 classes, which keeps association to that. Okay, I'm curious now. What are those classes? What is using unsafe? I can find them here among associations. And what can I see? What can we see? Okay, Java util concurrent. Okay. I remember that author of that solution was very happy of that. I think maybe now he's less happy if he wants to port it to future versions of Java. But yeah, it's heavily used in Java util concurrent. Okay, what else? Java NIO. Oh, okay. Then, yes, now we probably understand why it was so difficult to remove the unsafe part of Java from Java 9. Okay. It must survive, at least Java 9. Good. We can see here all the classes which are using that. So this tree on the left side is very useful if we have big number of relations. Whatever relations are there, we can easily browse them. But among classes shown here, I see also something what is very useful, or at least I like it very much. Throwable. Throwable, okay. It's used in many places. Let's take a look into Throwable. That's a picture of Throwable, maybe a little bit more space. Okay. Nice. It has 3 direct subclasses, among them error and exception. Now the question, small quiz. Do you have any feeling how many exceptions we may have in Java standard library? Means all the descendants of exception class. Please try to guess. Maybe somebody would like to guess. Sorry? 1,000. That's one suggestion. Somebody with different suggestion? 200. Okay, we have 2 options. 200, 1,000. Interesting. Let's see who is more right. I will do a right click now with right mouse button click. Hierarchy. Throwable. Okay. Then we see what is inside. Exception. 766. So the colleague who said 1,000 had a good feeling. I would say I don't know if somebody would ask me about that. At that time, I didn't know. But I must say I saw a funny comment on one of the forums. The author was asking about a class diagram of all exceptions in Java Standard Library. And of course, people were trying to give different examples. I finally answered to that. Sorry, but you cannot visualize 766 classes on one class diagram. It's impossible. But of course, with this tool, it is possible to see the whole hierarchy, and that's a great thing. Whatever hierarchy or other dependencies, but in this case, we are looking into hierarchy, you would like to analyze, then no problem. You have everything here. And moreover, if we go to class object, okay, this one has nearly 15,000 children. Of course, we are talking about class hierarchy, not about interfaces. In that way, we can analyze pretty much everything what we want. Actually, I see that Throwable is a good example because it has also nested classes here. So we can see pretty much all sorts of possible relations. Here we can also expand them all. We can also do something in addition. We can say, okay, show content, and then we have this class, object. We are looking into that, and we can maybe go further to the class and also say, show content, and here we are. So I had a chance to work with really very, very big code bases. Recently, I was doing a code review of project which had 48,000 classes. And I can say that absolutely all tools were crashing on this during loading, including Eclipse and including Maven. I needed to really tune all the settings. With Sonar, I spent, I think, 1 day to tune all the settings of all memory settings of all Sonar elements to get it loaded. So really, really massive project, and Class Visualizer was able to visualize it, and thanks to this browser, I was able to navigate through the elements and really understand the project. That's the main part of the presentation. Maybe something else. What if I like my diagram so much that I would like to use it for something else? Okay, Throwable, for example, I like it. Then I can click on the diagram itself, make copy, and now I will try to copy it to some other tool. Let's try something here, my LibreOffice. My LibreOffice must be somewhere here already. Here is it, new writer document, and here we are. Here is my diagram. So if I have diagram, let's see if I can use something else from the tool. So this one is actually a text. Yeah, I can select it easily. I can also press Ctrl A and select everything, and then copy it and paste it here. And the whole class is copied as a text. I can edit it. I actually use it quite often if I want to show how we extend the class in some task definitions. So I can easily say, okay, now new obsolete or let's say unsafe, maybe unsafe boolean, and we can, yeah, without any typo, and we can easily show our colleagues what we expect. We can also save the project. If we like it so much, we can say save project, and let's save it somewhere. Maybe somewhere here. RT, okay, let's call it RT, and saved. I can also find all of my recently used projects on recently opened projects. Easy to come back to my favorite ones. Those are the main features of the tool. And knowing those information, I think we can come now to the time where you can contribute to this session. Please contribute with your questions, suggestions. Everything is welcomed. You can say it or ask it in English, Polish, Ukrainian, which language you prefer. So now it's time for you. Okay, we have already several hands. Let's start with the colleague in front.
So when you choose dependencies from Maven repository, there are probably more than one version of the same classes. So how do you handle this situation?
Yes, that's a good question. This is, let's say, solved by workaround. So the workaround is that I'm ordering all the loaded classes in that way to have them on the class path, because they are added to the class path internally, to have the highest versions or highest names after sorting in the beginning of the class path, which means that the highest versions are coming first before previous versions, which means that always the newest version is taken first. It doesn't solve 100% cases, but it solves majority of the cases. But this is not solved 100%, and the reason of that is that I'm not reading any additional configuration, and in jars I don't have enough information. But this actually solves pretty much all the cases. It may happen that we have, of course, a wrong version of the library, but still, as long as there is no missing class, and this didn't happen to me so far, then it's fine.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. There is another hand.
Okay, so do you support analyzing fat jars? Because it would make analyzing entire Maven repository not needed.
So the question is, if I analyze fat jars, which have other jars inside.
Do you have such mode to analyze fat jars?
Okay, so I guess this would apply not only to fat jars, but also to for example, enterprise archives, yes, EAR and web archives.
Yes, but I meant only fat jars such as Spring Boot, Drop Wizard, modern.
Okay.
Fat jars.
Okay, so fat jars, as I understand them, they are jars which contain another jars. Yes, do you refer to?
No, they contain classes. They contain all classes that you use.
Okay, so I guess that RTJAR is the very good example, right? The Java standard library. It contains all classes used by.
Yes. Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay. 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 So I will repeat it now through the to the microphone yes, we are looking into the situation that all jars are unpacked and then packed as everything in one jar file with all the dependencies.
Yes.
That's the point. Okay. So I would say that's actually the easiest situation because we have everything in one place. So this is not a problem. RTJar is exactly such example. So this is not a problem. It's really the easiest one. But the problem is if we have dependencies, then the tool is handling that case as well. So does it answer your question? Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you as well. Please. Who is next? Or maybe you have some suggestion? Suggestions are also very welcomed. Or maybe your wishes, what you would expect from this tool and you don't see there yet. That would be also good. I'm always open for all the comments. Yes.
Something in my wish list will be to be able to see dependency between the packages, not a single class. I understand that is a big but.
Okay. Yes, that's good. Good point. Dependencies between packages, not dependencies between classes. I didn't do it, and now the reason why, yes, because we are always interested why. Because I realized that there are tools which are doing that, and they are doing that good enough. So my focus was not on covering already existing functionality, and not compete with them if they are good enough, just to be focused on what is not covered. And what was specifically missing was to easily navigate between classes. So that's the reason. Does it answer your question? Okay, good. Could you repeat, please? There is, okay, the question is, can I name the tools for package visualizing? But if I remember correctly, it was something like jar. It started with jar viewer, jar something, jar viewer, I guess. But if you are curious in that, we can take a look after the session together. I should be able to find it. Next question or next suggestion. Suggestions are equally important for me. No more? Okay, then it seems the topic was covered well enough. Then in such case, I would like to thank you for your attention and your comments. Thank you.